Is Apex, North Carolina actually the right fit for your luxury lifestyle? Well, today we're going to be exploring the town that's made major headlines, and not just locally, but nationally. And today I'm in Apex, North Carolina. Right now I'm in front of the old train depot, which was an old train town that started years and years ago. It's been known as the peak of good living and the happiest small town in America. And it's starting to emerge as one of the quietly luxurious places to live. And this is where it all really comes together in the town. It's the historic downtown. It's very charming. There's restaurants, there's shops. They're adding more and more each year. And with that growth has also come larger homes, more expensive homes, and future forward development, which I'm going to talk a little bit about later in the video. One big announcement that was just made that's really going to change the landscape of this area. And so it's starting to bring more higher priced homes, larger homes, estate homes, looking for that professional that's moving to the area. But the one thing about Apex, it isn't about flash or status. It's about quality, it's about community, and it's about long-term value. So the big question is Apex, North Carolina really a luxury destination, or is it really just a nice suburb with expensive homes sprinkled in? Well, today I'm going to be pulling back the curtain. I'm going to give you the inside scoop on neighborhoods, on lifestyle, and even on some drawbacks, because I want you to have a full picture of what it's really like to live here in the peak of good living in Apex, North Carolina. Welcome back to the channel. I'm Trish Veridea Realty Group, and I help luxury buyers relocate to the Raleigh, North Carolina area and surrounding suburbs. And if you've been following my channel, I want to say thank you, because I really do appreciate your support. It really does help grow the channel. And if you're new, welcome. As I mentioned, I do help luxury buyers, which here in the Raleigh, North Carolina area is considered homes over $750,000, but I do help buyers and sellers across all price points. So let's dive into this video. And if you like what you hear, please give this video a like and subscribe, and that way I know exactly what you guys like and I can put that out on future videos. So let's get started with, why is Apex called the peak of good living? Well, it's for good reason, and it didn't just earn that slogan overnight. This town of roughly 74,000 residents has racked up some major accolades over the years. It's been named the #1 place to live in the U.S. by Money Magazine, and it's ranked one of the happiest suburbs in America by Zillow. And it is frequently featured on best places to raise a family on those lists that are put out by both Forbes and Wallet Hub. And downtown Apex is a picture perfect. That's where I'm at today. There's some great restaurants down here. There's some great shopping, a little boutiques, and it has evolved through the years. It's a walkable downtown. They're starting to build some newer homes on the outside of this town as well. There's some older homes that surround this downtown, and we'll see that there are some new construction that's happening. People want to walk to downtown areas. There's some local favorites, such as Peak City Grill, which is right across the street. That's been here for years. Mission Market, that's also been here for a few years now. You can grab a cup of coffee there, a smoothie, or perhaps a quick lunch. There's also the Provincial. There's Scratch Kitchen, which is right down the road. Scratch also owns the Tap Station down the road, which is an old gas station that they've converted into a bar. So super cool place to go, have lunch, eat outside. And then there's several breweries that are close to downtown, and it all gives this town a very charming feel, walkable feel. You have the fire department right across the street, the police department, and just like the mayor just showed up in my video, which he happens to be out and about a lot, that's just an indication of how this town is. As I mentioned, it's a small town feel, even though it's a bigger town. Mayor Gilbert interacts with the community. He has a great story, just some of the things that he's helped with some of the children in the area. He was instrumental in bringing the skate park here and just some other things back when he was a police officer. So great mayor. It shows in the town. I think everyone here just enjoys living in this small town. And when it comes to things to do here along Salem Street, they do have several festivals throughout the year. They have Pig City Fest. They have Witches Night Out, which is around Halloween. It's a trick-or-treat along the street. They also have the Christmas parade, 4th of July parade, which is actually one of the only ones in the area. And then they also do a lot of other fun events and festivals throughout the year here. And it may sometimes feel like a Hallmark channel, but it was real people and real events. Then the big announcement that I wanted to make is that recently UNC Health and Duke, two huge healthcare groups, have announced a partnership, and they're going to be building a children's hospital here in the area, 500 beds, and they just recently selected Apex, North Carolina to put that facility. And that's going to be huge for Apex. It's a 500-bed facility, state-of-the-art, inpatient, outpatient, 24-hour emergency care, surgical suites, perfect for children that have to come to this area for chronic illnesses, for mental health, you name it, it's going to be in that facility. It is a big, big win for the town of Apex. And why does this matter for you? If you're relocating without children or with children, the level of care that's going to happen here in this hospital is amazing. You don't find that in a small suburban town like Apex. It's projected to bring about 8,000 jobs plus another 18,000 jobs indirectly from people that are going to be supporting this facility. Now let's talk about the homes. The median home price in Apex sits around $625,000, but that's not where the luxury market starts here. In our local market, we define luxury as homes over $750,000. So that's not too far above the overall median. And then, of course, when we look at the median home price for the luxury segment, it sits around $906,000. I'm going to mention a few luxury neighborhoods today, but of course, if you have any questions about any of these homes or like information on another neighborhood, feel free to reach out. That's why I'm here. I will leave my website link in the chat below. Just go to that site and you can schedule a call with me, and I'm happy to answer any questions you have about any of the homes in the Apex community. Okay, moving on to the neighborhoods. Stillwater is a great neighborhood. There are custom homes in there, nice sized lots, fairly new homes. That's only been the last few years that they've been building there. They were all custom built homes, so they have a lot of really nice features. In Ellsworth, that is a new luxury community. Custom builders that are local here to the area are building in there, and those homes generally are about 1.6 to over $2 million. But you're going to have beautiful features, all custom, and just really gorgeous homes. And then some of the older neighborhoods are Abington, which is off of Highway 64. And that's going to be more of your community feeling where you have a pool, swim team. The homes in there are a little older. Some were built in the early 2000s, but they are that traditional home. You may find some that are around 3,000 square feet all the way up to probably close to 4,000 square feet. And some of them may need some updating depending if they haven't been updated already, but they're not going to be updated to today's finishes. There's Jamison Park, which is an established, timeless neighborhood. One thing to note, Jamison Park has an Apex address, but it's actually located on the other side of Apex. It's not near the downtown Apex. In fact, it's really closer to Holly Springs and Fuquay Marina. So if you didn't see that it had an Apex address, you might think that it's probably located in one of those towns. So that's something just to kind of be aware of when you're looking at communities and addresses. Sometimes because homes have been or neighborhoods have been annexed into the area, they may not be right near the rest of Apex. We have Bella Casa, which is located right down off of Salem Street here. It's a very large community. There's several sub-neighborhoods within the Bella Casa community. They have 3 large pools, a lot of amenities there. They're located near greenways. So you can really find a variety of homes in that Bella Casa neighborhood, all the way up to over $1 million with some of the larger homes in there. And then moving along, there's the Providence at Yates Pond, and those are beautiful custom homes around the $1.5 million range. They're on scenic lots, nice community. They're a little bit newer. And then we're also seeing around this downtown area that, as I mentioned earlier, there are knocking down some houses and building some new houses along here, dotted through this little community right behind the downtown. New neighborhood opening up by Toll Brothers. They're building an enclave of executive homes, 23 lots, and those are going to be starting at 4,000 square feet, and they are starting about 1.3, 1.4 million. And then when we look at lifestyle beyond the home, here's what your day-to-day could look like in Apex. You may grab a walk on one of the many greenways, grab a coffee at Common Grounds, which is right across the street from me. Maybe go to Jordan Lake and do some paddleboarding or kayaking, or shop at some of the local boutiques here along the downtown area. And then on the weekends, you may opt to go to the beach, which is about 2 hours away to the beaches of Wrightsville, or perhaps you want to get out of the summer heat and head out to the mountains. Well, that's only a 3-hour trip and you're in the Blue Ridge Mountains. And of course, with the location of Apex, you're just a 20 or 30 minute drive to both Raleigh and Durham. You're 25 minutes to the airport. And so you really have a lot at your reach within driving distance. So if you want to get out of town to try something different, you can go to Raleigh, Durham, lots there. One of the new projects that we want to keep an eye on is the Veridea. The Veridea project is a massive long-term mixed-use development. It's going to be over 1,100 acres, and it's zoned for up to 8,000 new homes, 3.5 million square feet of shops and restaurants, 12 million square feet of office space. There's going to be a new Wake Tech Community College campus there, and of course, the new hospital. It's going to be a huge project. It could take between 6 and 7 years to completely finish that development, but they're already starting. They're starting to put the infrastructure in. They're putting the sewer pipes and all of that. It's in motion. It's just going to take a little bit to build out that large of a development. And along with all that retail and office space, we're probably going to start seeing more parks, hotels, maybe even light rail might be in the future. So as the community starts to grow and the area starts to grow, I think we're just going to see an increase in home values and more people moving to the area because our economy is really good here. In fact, an interesting statistic is that the median household income here in Apex is $160,000. Compare that to the median household income in the nation, which is $80,000. And then when we look at cost of living, we're only 3% higher than the national average. The cost of living is a little bit higher, but the earnings is significantly higher than the national averages. And as I mentioned in past videos, that has a lot to do with the proximity of Apex as well as some of the other surrounding suburbs to Research Triangle Park, one of our biggest employers with the pharmaceutical and the biotech and the technology companies that are housed at Research Triangle Park. And next, let's take a look at schools, because whether you have school-age children or not, I think schools are very important when you're looking at an area to relocate. And the schools here are always ranked in the top 10% of North Carolina. And currently, Apex has 3 high schools, 4 middle schools, and 8 elementary schools. And all of those schools are part of the highly rated Wake County public school system. So many families that are relocating to the area feel that they no longer need private school once they arrive here. And so that's a huge value add, making Apex even more of a desirable place to call home. So just like any growing small town, Apex does have its fair share of growing pains. In fact, the small town charm has brought so many people that it's come with some construction and some construction traffic. So that's just something to be aware of with any growing town. And then again, like in the downtown, we have experience where it can be sometimes difficult to find parking, although they do have a parking lot that they're currently building. It's almost done, and that's going to alleviate a lot of the parking situation here in the downtown, which is great. And the other thing to be aware of, because we are such a popular town, inventory could still be a little restricted in some of the neighborhoods. So if you do see something that comes on the market that you like, you do need to act quickly, especially anywhere under that $1 million range. And even the $1 million+ homes are selling very fast here because it is very much a desirable place to come. While the vibe here is upscale, it's not flashy. It's not that big city feel, but that's just around the corner. We're very close. We're a 20 to 25 minute Uber drive from Raleigh to Durham. So if you feel like you wanted a little bit of a city feel, you can go to those towns to go out. But so the nightlife here is going to be a little bit more subdued, more of a restaurant feel or local bar. The future for Apex is really bright, but of course it's not perfect. So you'll need to weigh the benefits against some of the growth pressures and decide if it's a lifestyle for you. So what do you think? Is Apex calling your name? Let me know in the comments. And if you're exploring the luxury market, especially here in the Triangle and especially in Apex, visit Dare Realty Group and schedule a call. As always, the link will be in the chat below. And don't forget to subscribe to this video and hit the notification bell so that you don't miss any future videos on luxury living in the Triangle. And we definitely don't want to miss the next videos I'm going to be putting out because we're going to be heading up to Raleigh next. And I just want to say thanks again for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.